All right, truck set IRP. So I'm going 14 to 1 with my steering settings in 0. That's just my comfort settings. Brake bias, I like the default on it. I could maybe go a little bit lower. Maybe we'll try 60 here, but I really don't want to uh, spin my right rear in the corner. Even though we're trying to get some rotation and it's good for corner center, I could probably push that brake bias a little bit farther down. So just experiment with that. If you feel like you're not sliding the rear on entry with that 60-ish%, feel free to try lower until it starts happening and then come back up. So this is gonna be a second lap, hot lap here. First lap, we just gotta get heat in the tires without spinning them and overheating them. We're gonna be running the top line here. You run the top line and then you can kind of cut cut the exit if you want to. So like for instance, if I like go up here and then I like maybe want to cut the exit a little bit coming down, that sometimes works really well. All right, so set up here, we'll just run top, come way up, and then we're gonna try to make a straight line out of the exit without coming all the way down. Okay. I'm gonna diamond a little bit all the way up to the wall. Come to get the car coming back down. Gonna be a little bit loose there with the bigger angle. Same thing here. We're gonna make a bit of a diamond up to the wall. Go back down, and we'll do one more lap. I didn't cut as much as I wanted to there. The cut down is especially good out of 3 and 4. I know this is third lap, but we can cheat a little bit. So if we cut down like down to here, we get a little bit more time. Oh, see, that worked perfectly. Great. That's a better example. Staying all the way up top there for the whole corner tends to be a little bit slow just because this corner is like a full oval shape and not a tri-oval shape. All right. So turn 1 here. What am I doing? Here we go. So here we are entering the corner. I'm only going to do maximum like 25% brake. A lot of you will think, hey, it's a short track. Don't we need to brake harder? And we don't really, because we're going to be just using that trail brake to get rotation. So I'm just like somewhere between 25 and 10, probably closer to the 10 once we enter the corner. And I'm aiming my car left tire just barely under this seam, entering a little bit straight, not quite in line with the seam, so that we can slide back up the track like a diamond up to the wall. And if everything works perfectly, we pick up the gas when we're right next to the wall, and it rotates our car if we stay at half throttle. And then we're able to cut down the track a little bit. The cut down the track is harder in 1 and 2 than it is in 3 and 4, in my opinion at least. So you see how my car rotates under throttle? If your car's not rotating under throttle, that means you didn't drag your brake long enough. So basically I drag my brake in a straight-ish line going up to the wall until the car handles a little bit more neutral instead of tight. Then I bring my throttle up to get the car rotating back down. And that's when I can start to unload my steering wheel, bring the throttle up, and try to survive the exit. So a little bit of a slide there, but it was more or less clean. So just a little tiny diamond up to the wall. Make sure throttle before the wall for maximum lap time. And then do a little cut on the exit. 3 and 4 here, same exact idea. I actually drive these corners exactly the same. Not many tracks where I do that. They end up maybe feeling a little bit different because, like I said, for whatever reason, this car just bites better coming back down the track on 3 and 4 than 1 and 2. 1 and 2, the car doesn't want to come this far down. It only wants to come like halfway down this lane. This car, if it really wanted to, could go all the way down to like the white line, but because this last lane has very little banking on it, you never want to hit the bottom. You at the very most want to get down to this seam right here. But same shape as turn 1 and 2. Trail brake into the seam, diamond it all the way up, throttle rotates the car, cut the exit by bringing it back down, diamond. So this is going to be a diamond line, and pretty straightforward diamond line. Just make sure that we bring our throttle up. We don't wait for the car to cut down before we throttle up if on the hot lap. because you can do a little bit of force in the car to do that on the hot lap. On long run, though, there's a couple things you can do. I think that the top lane is just going to be the best. Maybe you can roll that first seam line. We'll do a little tiny bit of experimenting, but I'm pretty confident. I did a long run earlier this weekend. The best thing on your tires is just to do what we were doing in qual, except letting the brake do more of the work and the steering wheel do less of the work. So I'm going to enter earlier and just use that brake do more of the work. And it's a little bit off. Well, I guess we're still on cold tires, so it doesn't matter too much yet. But I'm just going to use that brake to turn my car a little bit more, and I actually didn't use it enough there. If you go back, rewind the video, you'll see that I used a ton of steering wheel to do the line for the hot lap. But here, I'm just going to hold the brake longer and let it do more of the work. And the cut down, I don't love on short runs. I think it wears too much tire unless you like really overslow the car like this and bring it back down like this. Like, that's fine. Long run, like 30 plus laps, not saying you'll ever get that in a C fixed race. If you get past 30 lap runs, use that diamond line, but don't enter low. Enter high, like right here, and then use that brake to cut the car down on the exit like this. And the later that you apex on that line, the better it's going to be. This is for really long run when the car just doesn't really want to turn. You kind of take out a lot of the turn and just basically have an extended straightaway after using your brake to turn for the first bit. But you don't have to go right by the wall. This top lane starts with where that seam is. So as long as you stay above that, you have like the maximum banking. The big thing I will caution you is if you are not turning into the corner and slowing down for the corner before the banking actually begins, then you're going to be in the wall. You got to do all of your corner prep before the corner begins. That's the nature of this high line. So you can see how early I'm going. You'll think, wait, don't you want to carry the momentum on the top? Well, yeah, I am, because I'm able to pick up the throttle earlier. Like, let's see what happens if I dive the corner too deep. Oh, well, I'm just gonna hit the wall. But it's gonna be more or less the same line, and then you use more of that brake 30-40 laps into the run to let it late apex. Yeah, so right rear is going to be worn a little bit more. If your right rear is overheating to the point where you want to be using the right front over the right rear, go back to that traditional diamond line, put a little bit more on that right front on entry, go back to that qual line. I don't think that's going to be the case for the long run. I was getting like 10% more right front wear than right rear wear by the end, so don't let the beginning percentages fool you, in my opinion. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.